What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing my October horror movie haul for the month of October that I'm a little late on, but come on, let's dive into it, eh? All right, guys, so yeah, like I said, I'm a little late, but hey, whatever. Come on. Let's have some fun, check out some stuff that we got. I picked up some good stuff. I think it was a good mix of just about everything. We were kind of particular about this month, too. So, first up, we got The Black Cat from Severin. Now, I wanted to pick up some of their other releases. I didn't get a chance to get the other ones because I was running a little low on money. And I decided to get this one just on a whim because I've never seen it. But yeah, it's Luigi Cozzi's The Black Cat, a.k.a. Demons 5 or 6. I always get them confused. I think it's 6. But yeah, this is one of the last Demons movies that they tried to milk off of. It is more the Edgar Allan Poe story, I guess. There is like multiple different stories in here from what I hear, but some of it looked really ridiculous. And if you know Luigi Cozzi, you know that he did the Star Crash and Contamination and Paganini Horror, which is another movie Severin has, is Paganini Horror I picked up. So maybe I'll mix these two together and we could do this on the podcast, which if you haven't been listening to the podcast, what have you been doing with your life, guys? Check us out. It's actually a lot of fun. I'm really anxious to check this out. I've heard it's pretty gory and graphic and weird, and those are just kind of like the right types of films for me because I just like to have a lot of fun watching horror films and finding all these like lost gems that nobody really knows anything about, but I do. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. If you're a horror fan, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comment section down below. Up next, we got American Nightmares. And look who's on the cover. It's Danny Trejo. I've not heard of this, but I did see that Cool Duder had picked it up and owned it, and he said it was actually a pretty decent movie. It was at the Dollar Tree that we got, just like a random buy that we saw there. We're kind of whittling down now, not just like taking too many chances anymore, because after I've gone through this insane stack of like dollar movies, a lot of them ain't all that great, but we found some good ones this week. It seems like it says Mr. Malevolent hacks two millennials' computers and forces them to watch videos that reveal horrific consequences of various immoral crimes in this chilling horror anthology. Oh, okay. See, this might be actually pretty cool. I'm glad it's an anthology. Have you seen it? Did you pick it up at the Dollar Tree? Let me know. Up next, we got Scare Package, which if you've seen this is another anthology, speaking of anthologies, that's on Shudder. I loved this one. This one has a really nice wraparound, so that's that story that ties all this stuff together, and it's hilarious. If you're a horror fan and you know even just a little bit about horror movies, there's a lot of really hidden jokes in there for some of those fans of this stuff that are in there. It's not like deep, but there's a lot of people in this movie. You got Joe Bob Briggs in this movie. He plays a part. Now, Shudder put out this release, and I'll be honest, most of the Shudder releases have not been coming with that many extras, but this one actually does. And it came to the last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs Scare Package episode, so the actual episode, which is super cool. Creator commentary on the film, commenting on other films that have better commentary tracks. Bonus segment, The Locker Room Z, Rad Chad's Rad Ad, the Scare Package blooper reel, and original not as good ending. Plus, it comes with a hard case. We got this for $15, and I'm sure you could probably find it for the same, but I'd keep an eye out on this one, guys. This was fucking hilarious, and I really enjoyed it a lot. There are some people that were being pretty particular about it because it wasn't in the realm of 10 out of 10 production value. This is more about the genre of horror and comedy and kind of wrapping it into a really nice humorous package. Like I said, the wraparound's really fun. Wouldn't be surprised if this might be on my top 10. We'll see. It's not the end of the year yet, so...
Hey, stay back, Trip.
You guys all right? Hey, that guy's blood's getting in my blood!
Up next, we got... Oh, sorry, you can't see that. I'll Take Your Dead. Now, this is a movie that I was actually kind of interested in seeing when it came out. I don't know why I didn't get to review it. And it's weird because I believe this one came out last year. Yeah, it did. Or no, it came out in 2018, I think, but I never did get to see it. And here it is at the Dollar Tree for $1. So I thought it was pretty interesting. It's about this father who's in a funeral home and this girl who lives with him. It's his daughter. And you start to find out that the dad aren't too happy with him for some reason. And they don't really explain why. But there's something amiss. But this one might be pretty good. I'm interested in checking this one out. Can you guys tell me? Would you like me to review it? Let me know. Up next, we got Underwater with Kristen Stewart, which that upset a lot of people that she was in this movie. Just by her alone. I don't know why. I just like to watch cool movies. Underwater was very much like an Aliens Deep Star 6. A lot of people were comparing it to. Very claustrophobic. There was a lot of tight shots, which made a lot of people uncomfortable, which I think was intentionally done. It is a little overdone in that department, but I still think it's a good movie. And by the end, you're going to be cheering because I know I've seen this movie and I really enjoyed it. And I think I gave it like an 8, maybe an 8.5. Underrated movie for an underwater film. So have you seen this? This is becoming rare. I had to buy this used on Amazon in order to get a copy. So if you have been waiting to get this movie, don't. Unless they're putting out a 4K, which I highly doubt that they are because this movie didn't make a lot of money and was just kind of thrown out there by the studio that put it out. I think this is a great movie and it deserves a lot more respect than it gets. Bam! Another big shout out to the Cool Duder. I've been watching him for years. He's just always had like probably one of the most insane collections. He had mentioned this like a month or two ago about this like documentary called Bubble. And I've never actually seen it. And it's like this story about this small town in the middle of nowhere and what it's like out there. And then like something happens where it turns this documentary into something really interesting in this small know-nothing town. It's a Steven Soderbergh film documentary. I heard it was really good by Cool Duder, put out by Magnolia, and I really want to check it out because I do like documentaries. So have you guys heard of this one? It's not a horror, but might be cool. Up next, we got Becky. See if I can do it right this time. Which has Lulu Wilson and Kevin James as a neo-Nazi. Fucking weird combination of Home Alone meets Kill the Nazis, which is kind of cool. It's not the deepest plot of a story, but it also does have some twists and turns in it that I thought were different and unique. And this movie goes further than where most of these kind of movies go. So it's not that particularly similar, I guess. But a lot of people are giving it shit. And I think it's just because they were able to compare it to something as obvious as Home Alone and whatever else that they were thinking of. But I think that's cutting this movie short. I think this movie has style. I think it has comedy in it that's like really dark. Kevin James is an underrated performance in this as a serious role, not some jokey, fun kind of comedy movie. Man, it's not really a comedy movie. I mean, we're talking about some pretty serious tropes in this movie. This little girl goes fucking ham on these people. But I really enjoyed this. Doesn't have any extras too, which is quite disappointing because I would have loved to have seen more about how the making of this film was. But I got it for like $11 on Amazon, so I'm not going to complain about it. I still think this is one of the better movies this year, and it may be on the list in some fashion. So keep your eye out on it. Check it out if you haven't already.
Very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrible.
Up next, we got The Boy, which is an older film that actually came out in 2015. This is a Scream Factory Chiller Films like SpectreVision release in the DVD format. This actually had a really cool soundtrack to it about this little boy that lives out in the wilderness. It's got Rainn Wilson in it or something. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it seemed pretty cool. And I do remember it having a pretty decent story to it. So for $1 at the Dollar Tree, if you see this, I'd pick it up. I think it's at least a 6, probably somewhere in there. So if not higher for some people, but soundtrack is dope. Up next. Yes. So I just watched a movie called Slacks for one of the festivals I went to this year online. because I've been doing all online lately, which is great because I don't have to travel somewhere and actually go see it. I can just get a ticket and watch it online. But I was talking about this movie called Slacks about a killer pair of pants, and it harkened back to the movie Rubber. And ever since I watched Slacks, I've been wanting to watch Rubber again. I'll tell you what, man, this is a weird movie. It divides a lot of people. It's a very subtle comedy film that is kind of graphic and kind of meta. Like, it's third wall breaking in one point in the movie, which I absolutely loved. And one of the biggest tropes in this movie is no reason. Why did E.T. hand M&Ms to whatever? No reason. It's like, I don't know why they say that, but that's like the thing they keep saying about it. But for a movie about a killer tire that goes around killing people, extremely well done. Like, I can't even imagine like why this would have been a good film. You'd think it would be like this low shitty budget, but Quentin Dupieux has actually done a lot of weird films like this with some moderate to success. This one probably being one of his top ones. He did another one called Wrong and something else that was really weird. There's a new one coming out called Mandibles about this pet fly that's the size of like a Doberman or some shit. So anyway, you should check this out. I think it's funny. Some people don't like it. It definitely is worth watching to find out, though. And if you see it at the Dollar Tree like we did, $1.
Mr. Hughes?
Up next, we got Come to Daddy. And no, this is not the live video for Aphex Twin. It's an Elijah Wood movie that I watched earlier this year that is a very dark crime comedy, very reminiscent of a movie called Low Life, which I talk about on here quite frequently, that you should also check out. One word, Low Life. The movie has a lot of different genres packed in here, so I find that usually confuses a lot of audiences who are specifically into maybe one particular genre or not. Other people find that refreshing. But this is a very dark comedy, and it has Stephen McHattie in the film, which is one of my favorite actors, who did one of my favorite films of all time. I absolutely became a fan after watching him in the movie that was from Canada that you might know me talking about all the time as Pontypool. But anyway, Stephen McHattie's in this movie. He does a really good job in this film. Elijah Wood plays this dorky, know-nothing guy who's trying to meet his dad for the first time. And when he goes out there, a bunch of crazy shit happens. Honestly, the less you know about this film, the better, because it takes you in a couple of different places. It's like two different movies almost in one. It's got some really fucking dark humor and gore and graphic shit that's in it. I really enjoyed this movie. I think I gave it like an 8.5, if I recall correctly. You can check out the review that I put up on here. Maybe I'll link it down below or something. Check it out. Have you seen it? I loved it. Oh, and I had to pick that one up. I think we picked it up for $11 as well. So up next, we got The Boat, which is one of the movies that I missed out on. I'd seen some of my friends picking this up at the Dollar Tree in one of the halls like a couple months ago, and I was like, mine didn't get it. I wanted that. And it turned out that like the store that we went to this time actually got this. And I've been hearing a lot of people say this is like at least a 7 and that this is a very underrated film. It's on DVD, but I mean, I've been wanting to see it. It's an interesting concept, I guess, somebody said, but it says ranks easily among the year's best horror films, best adventure films, and best films, period. It says sailor finds himself locked inside the head of a sailboat, which is an autopilot, where is the boat headed? Why is it taking him? And will he survive the ordeal when it starts to appear like he isn't alone on the vessel? Interesting. Sometimes making that kind of thing work is really hard on something like a boat. You're not working with a lot of space. You got to really kind of make use of the space you got. Have you seen this movie, guys? Let me know. And last, following the tradition of trying to collect all of these, we've got Outpost, Rise of the Spetsnaz. Now, again, we've talked about these movies before, and I picked up another one at the Dollar Tree, and we found this one at the Dollar Tree too. I think there's like 4 or 5 of these movies. I would like to collect them all and then just watch them one day just for the hell of it. I'm sure these aren't the greatest movies, but you know, the idea behind them is kind of interesting. Everybody always likes, like, you know, zombie, like demon fucking Nazi things that they kill. So it's just one of those kind of films, but I'm curious to see how this turns out. I would like to check this one out. I have no idea what to expect. I think I watched the first and maybe the second one. Like, the first one was literally in a bunker that I recall, but I have to watch it again. But yeah, $1. Why not? And yeah, that's it, guys. Is there anything in that pile that you saw would be your number one pick? I got some more stuff that's already come in, since I'm kind of late on this anyway, that we're going to be talking about for the following month. And Dawn of the Dead may be coming soon too, so you might want to stick around. I might actually do a separate video on that one and then just kind of breeze by it in our horror movie haul. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of that, and I appreciate you coming by and spending time with me to geek out about horror movies. I do this and reviews, and I know that this past couple of days, or this past couple of weeks rather, have been kind of grinding to a halt. And I apologize for that, but I will be getting back into the swing of it. I will make it up to you guys. I'm definitely got some stuff that I need to review. Old films that I got on Blu-ray from different companies like Vinegar Syndrome and other places. So definitely stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Thanks, guys. And long live the void.